Hello everybody, I think many people have seen the Kinder Country bar like this in the store. Let's open it up. It looks like just some kind of small chocolate. You need to cut into it and look inside. So, milk chocolate is on the outside. Inside there is a dense white filling and crispy cereal. I wonder what it tastes like. A cool candy bar with crispy little additions. So today we will cook the exact same thing, only 1,000 times bigger. Let's go. The most important thing is to make a high quality mold, and our dad's gonna help us out with that. We wrap a plywood sheet and fix it with adhesive tape. The parchment should be well stretched so that there are no folds. The bottom is ready. Now we are armed with a screwdriver and corners. We fasten them to the plywood. Now you need to cut the plywood for the walls with an electric jigsaw. We also wrap them in parchment and put them in their places. We cut the ceiling skirt board at 45 degrees and join them inside our mold. In the middle, a metal corner should pass along the entire shape. You also need to cut the corner into small pieces. We assemble our form as a constructor. Now you just need to fix all of this with the help of thermal glue, so that later, at the most crucial moment, none of this seeps out. At this point, the form is completely ready. And we will buy the food products to make up our Kinder Country. So, milk chocolate, we bought 30 kilograms. Sugar, 13 kilograms. Powdered milk, we bought 2 whole bags of 25 kilograms. Palm oil, a 20 kilogram box. It also consists of crispy cereal, namely Air Wheat, Air Rice, Air Barley, and Air Buckwheat. We couldn't find this though, so we'll make it ourselves from ordinary buckwheat. It's pretty simple. So, pour 1 kilogram of buckwheat into a saucepan. Pour in 2 liters of water. And put it on to cook until all the water evaporates. Done. We remove it from the stove and scatter it onto 4 baking sheets. We distribute it with a spatula so that there is a layer of the same thickness everywhere. Done. We push the baking sheets into the oven. Set to only 50 degrees in the convection mode. We need to wait 5 hours, and then you can take it out. We're left with completely dry boiled buckwheat. Now for the last step. To do this, we will prepare a deep fryer. You're going to need to heat the oil to more than 200 degrees, and now we throw our buckwheat into it. It starts to explode and pop like popcorn. Give this video a like if you didn't know that you can make popcorn from buckwheat. We lift the sieve and shake off all the excess oil. There you go, popped buckwheat onto the paper towels. And we repeat this many more times. Now we have all the airy cereals we need. Next ingredient we're going to need is animal fat. We grab some butter. Soy lecithin was also bought. And the last one is vanilla. We will use natural vanilla pods. And all of this will go into our Kinder Country. Chocolate is first in line. We open up a box. And pour 10 kilograms of milk chocolate into the Marmite. Periodically mix it until it all completely melts. Done. We take our form, and first of all we will smear all the joints with hot chocolate, so that then the bulk of the chocolate does not flow into them. Now we pour in the remaining chocolate. and evenly distributed according to the shape. It's set now. Now inside the mold, we put another wall wrapped with food wrap. They will not allow the white filling to reach the main walls, and there will be room for chocolate. We fix them in with clamps. We take palm oil out of the box. Using a machete, we cut this briquette in half and put it into pots. We got some butter. We open them up. And 2 packages into each pan. We put it on the stove and heat it up. Open up some sugar. And pour it into the melted butter. We thought that the sugar would dissolve the worm oil, but this didn't happen. Well, that's alright. We take 2 huge basins, open up some bags of powdered milk, and pour in 25 kilograms into each basin. Now we need some vanilla. We take the pads out of the bag. High quality vanilla must be oily. So we cut them lengthwise and scrape the seeds with a knife. This is the most valuable and fragrant part. We dump it into a bowl and continue to get the seeds. We scatter them evenly, but do not throw out the shells because they're also very fragrant. So we send them into the dryer. We set it for 70 degrees and turn it on. We will dry them for 5 hours. Cut them into short pieces. And send them into the coffee grinder. Here they will turn into a powder. Done. The vanilla powder is also scattered into the basins. Here we also pour melted palm oil with sugar. And now all this needs to be mixed with a huge mixer. We're left with a mass similar to cottage cheese. So we mix 2 basins. Now we need a mélange and turn it on. We collect this mass with a saucepan and pour it into the mélange. Now we need soy lecithin. It'll help mix the products at the molecular level and make them thinner. 30 minutes later, the mass has become homogeneous. Turn off the mélange and pour the contents into the mold. Even with the addition of soy lecithin, the mass turned out to be really thick. Now we need to add some airy cereals. For this batch, we use Air Wheat, we press it into the white mass and make a second batch of the filling. And to make it even thinner, we melt a little bit of palm oil and pour it into the Mellinger. Knead for another 30 minutes. And pour it into the mold. This time the mass turned out to be what you need. And we'll add in some air buckwheat. Mix it with the filling. So, our third filling. Add some airy rice into it. And mix it in too. To the fourth filling, add the exploded barley. We continue to fill the form in the same way. Now we wait for the solidification of the white mass. We remove the clamps, unscrew the screws, and remove all the walls. We're left with an even layer of filling. Now we return only the outer walls back, and fix them in place. We have an even cavity for the chocolate layer. Therefore, it's time to open up the milk chocolate and set it into the marmite. But this time, the chocolate needs to be more liquidy, so we add more oil and mix it all well with the chocolate. Now that's right, it's done. We scoop the chocolate into a cup and fill the walls of our giant Kinder Country. The chocolate was enough to fill all the walls, and even the thin layer of the bottom. So we need it thicker, so we'll melt some more chocolate. Pour it out into the middle of the mold. And use a wide spatula to level it out. Now we just need to wait until the chocolate sets. Done. In order to get the Kinder Country out of the mold, put on some plywood and fix it with the corners. Now we need elevations, to which we carefully turn our shape. That's it, you can take everything apart. During disassembly, we slightly damaged the bar. Therefore, you're going to have to fix it up with some hot chocolate. Just cover up all the gaps. On each cube of the original Kinder chocolate, there is such a spike. To repeat it, we will make a stencil. We cut it out with the jigsaw from thin fiberboard. And after 3 hours, it's done. We apply it to the cube. In scratching, we outline the stencil first from the outside, And then the inside. Done. So you need to do this 9 more times. Now 1,000 times enlarged copy of our Kinder Country is ready. In my opinion, it turned out practically one and the same. Let's cut out a piece. Hello everybody, a Kinder Surprise is probably the most desirable sweet for any children that you can buy in the supermarket. Although I don't think that any adults would turn it down either. So let's open up the Kinder. In fact, it's just an egg made with chocolate. Rather, of 2 types, milk and white. And inside it has a yellow capsule that you can find a toy in when you open it. Maybe it just seems like it to me, but these toys were much more interesting in my childhood. Over the past 6 months, I've been thinking in detail about how to make a giant Kinder Surprise so that it turns out to be perfect, just like a factory-made one. And finally, I came up with it. Please give this video your likes in advance, and now let's start. Have you ever wondered how chocolate was made? There are whole plantations where cocoa fruits are grown. We bought 4 of these ripe fruits. They are very large and cumbersome. We break it into 2 parts, and we see the white seeds inside. These are ripe cocoa beans, but to turn them into chocolate, they need to be processed for a long time. We transfer them to a wooden barrel, and we cover them with saran wrap. The beans will be in this barrel for 7 days and fermented. Well, it's time to retrieve them. Excellent. Our cocoa beans have been fermented and smell pleasantly like vinegar. We take a dryer like this and put all our beans in it. We set it to 40 degrees and turn it on. That way they continue drying for another 7 days. A week has passed and the cocoa beans are dehydrated. But to make a giant Kinder, this is definitely not enough. So I bought some more dry cocoa beans. They look exactly like ours. These beans are raw, so we go outside and pour 2 bags of beans into the cauldron. We still need to chop wood. Let's open the stove and put some crumpled paper and small firewood into it. Kindle the fire. When it is flared up, we begin to mix the cocoa beans. That way they fry more evenly. After about 10 minutes of roasting, they begin to smell very tasty. Therefore, about 5 more minutes and you can check. The husks should easily come off the roasted cocoa beans. We remove them from the fire. The roasting stage has been passed. Now we take another bowl. We remove the shell from each cocoa bean. We break the core and transfer to the second bowl. We get these kind of cocoa nibs. We use this as the main raw material for making milk chocolate. We also bought a box like this. We open it, and inside we see a lot of cocoa butter. It looks and feels like an all-in-one laundry soap. So that it can be quickly melted later, we set it up with a knife. This is a very sticky process. Two hours later, we got a whole basin of finely crushed cocoa butter. In order to properly make chocolate, you need a machine called a mélanger. In fact, this is an electric mill with such stone millstones. We grind cocoa nibs, milk powder, sugar, and cocoa butter into it. We collect 1 kilogram of cocoa nibs and pour it into the mélanger. A full glass of powdered milk, a glass of sugar, and turn it on. All the ingredients are mixed and gradually ground into a more delicate powder. Add some cocoa butter. It will gradually warm up from friction and the mass will become And now it just takes time. The grains will become smaller and smaller. In the meantime, let's turn on another machine called Marmite. It will heat the chocolate so that it remains a liquid. Fill it with water up to the maximum. We set it on 2 and turn it on. 2 hours have passed. The chocolate has become even thinner. To make it taste familiar to us, we add vanilla extract. And in factory chocolate, a powder called soy lecithin is used. We need to add quite a lot of it. It is completely harmless, and it is only made to use to make the chocolate more liquidy. The chocolate has been 3 hours in the melanger. We turn it off, and we pour it into the gastric capacity. The first portion of natural milk chocolate is ready. We put the tray into the Marmite so that the chocolate doesn't freeze. Now we load the next batch. This time, for the melanger to grind the cocoa nibs faster, we pour it in gradually. Then gradually pour in cocoa butter. When the mass has become a liquid, gradually it's sugar. Milk powder, and other additives. We wait another 2.5 hours and pour the chocolate into our tray. And for the third time, we add more powdered milk and 4 hours of stirring. It turned out very nice, perfectly glossy milk chocolate. We also transfuse it. It took us 2 days to fill the tray to the brim. We mix all of these things together, and we're done. The next stage is tempering. You may ask, why is this necessary? I'll show you an example of 2 tiles. We filled one with melted chocolate, and the second with tempered. After solidification, we take them out. And the one that is just melted melts very quickly, remaining in your hands. But the tempered chocolate is glossy. To it, cocoa butter crystals are combined into a strong crystal lattice. Therefore, when you break it, there's a crunch. In order to temper a large volume of chocolate, we increase the heating. And constantly stirring, we heat the chocolate to 45 degrees. We get the tray out, and let's go outside. We put it onto a cold tile. Constantly stirring, literally in 15 minutes, the chocolate should cool down to exactly 25 degrees. That's it, we return the chocolate back to the heat and heat it up to 31 degrees. This is the end of tempering. We will pour chocolate into such large egg halves. I ordered these forms 6 months ago at a factory in America, and now they have arrived. These forms cost 20,000 hryvnias, or 54,000 rubles. So we open the alcohol, pour it into the mold, and rub it around with a napkin. So that way it'll be perfectly clean and the chocolate will shine. Done. Now we send the forms to the freezer for 1 hour. They should be cool completely. Now that the molds are icy, we scoop up the chocolate, pour it into the mold, and distribute evenly. The chocolate seizes instantly. Fill it as evenly as possible so that there are even walls of the same thickness everywhere. We drain the excess chocolate back in. One more time, we put it into the freezer. And we fill in the forms again. And one more go around. The forms are always very heavy, and you can't twist them in your hands. Therefore, we pour the chocolate along the walls and smear it around with a spatula. That way, we filled up all the milk chocolate. But there is also a white one in Kinder, so let's do that. We need cocoa butter, milk powder, sugar, and soy lecithin. And of course, a melanger. We collect a full measuring cup of cocoa butter. We turn on the melanger and begin to pour in very gradually. There is literally a third of a teaspoon of soy lecithin. We collect 700 grams of sugar and gradually pour it in. Well, we've got a full measuring cup of powdered milk. And now it just takes time. Grains of powdered milk and sugar will decrease and interfere with the butter. The correct consistency will be happening in 2 hours later. Pour our homemade white chocolate into the Marmite. We cooked white chocolate for 15 hours. And we also temper it. And we also pour that into the mold the same way. And smeared around with a spatula. We poured white chocolate in one very long approach. While you were smearing one form, the second one is time to freeze, so you can change them around like that. Now the chocolate egg halves are ready. Let's make an integral part of the Kinder Surprise, namely the yellow capsule. To do this, we bought a plastic barrel for 20 liters. We bend the fastenings for the handle and remove them. The barrel is shaped like a capsule, but not in color. Therefore, we unscrew it from the lid and take it to a safe place for painting. Shake the cans with spray paint and cover the barrel with yellow. We completely painted it in 3 approaches. Now we've got a big yellow capsule like that. In my opinion, it kind of looks like the original. What kind of gift will we put inside? I thought everything out in advance and I bought a big Bluetooth speaker on the internet. We opened it up and put it inside, as well as wires and instructions. That's it, you can close it. We put our surprise in one of the Kinder halves. We take out the second one. Perfect. At first, we just melted the edge of the chocolate with a burner and tried to install the second half of the egg on top. But they did not dock, and there were very large gaps. Therefore, we take out the other half. With a knife, we cut off the uneven edge. And try it again. This way it worked out more or less pretty smooth. And to glue these two halves together, we pass the white chocolate along the joint. Now our Kinder is ready. But what kind of Kinder would it be without colorful packaging? To make that, we take the molds again and line the foil on top of them, gluing each layer with double-sided tape. Next, you need acrylic paints, rollers, brushes, and pencils. First, you need to make a red and white background. And then we apply multicolored inscriptions. In my opinion, it turned out really nice. So we put the lower part of the wrapper on the floor, carefully lower our Kinder into it, and together with the foil, we lift it back up. We put the other half of the package on top. We connect the planes and fix it with a stapler. With scissors, cut off the excess foil. And gently bend the edge. Now we just have to paint the gaps. And this giant Kinder Surprise is completely ready. It turns out very nice and beautiful. This time we repeated it almost one-on-one. Taking into account the forms, the machine for making chocolate and products, it cost us 50,000 hryvnias. This is 136,000 rubles, and it took us 5 days to prepare it. So answer me one question. Who will experience the most joy when they see this huge Kinder? Of course it is children. Therefore, we mask it with a golden cloth, load it into the car, and take it to the mother and child's house. The children were very happy and just tore up at this Kinder Surprise. By the way, apparently they were also really happy with the surprise. Alright you guys, write in the comments, VANZAI, prepare a giant and choose what? A Milky Way bar, Mars, or Mentos? Be sure to share this video with your friends. Put like, subscribe to the channel, and click on the playlist. There's still a lot of huge food. Bye everybody.